Yo, today we got Hailey Welch with Faze Bank. The response? So I'm guessing she responded but then deleted it really quickly because this video is gone. I think she posted this yesterday, and within under 24 hours, video disappeared. I don't know what happened. Maybe her lawyers told her to take it off, but somebody saved this whole video. Shout out to Silencer, and we're gonna check it out.
How's it going?
It's going good. Life's crazy right now. I don't know. I say no to every single fucking podcast. Ongoing joke on Impulsive that I stood them up 4 or 5 times. This isn't necessarily my thing, but you're in an interesting position right now, and I feel like it's my duty to come on here and talk to you. You seem like a sweet enough girl, and I feel like I know more or less what happened with you. We're gonna get into all that. I brought a couple crypto nerds with me. We're gonna sit down and talk.
Teach me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel good. How do you feel?
I don't know. I'm still a little shook up about it.
How was the nap?
How was the nap?
Very long nap. I would say. That's what sucks about it, too. I had to
That was the longest nap I've ever seen someone take. That's got to be a record for longest naps. Off a phone
and like put it in my words. And I was like, anywho, I'm going to bed.
This is mainly for me, and again, why I wanted to come here and talk about this is because millions of people are going to watch this. Everybody's kind of waiting to hear what you say. Everyone's kind of waiting to see how this plays out. And 99% of these people don't know shit about crypto.
And I'm one of them.
Just like you. Exactly.
I'm one of them.
Exactly. And the ongoing joke on CT right now is like, if she just did this 2 days after Trump, she'd be okay.
Exactly.
Which isn't necessarily true because of the way it was done. And that's kind of the whole point, right? There's a right and a wrong way to do this. You rug pulled them. And if you have interest, it's mostly important that your network and the people that you trust to walk into this market are exactly that, people that you can trust.
I think that's where I messed up.
For sure. I can only imagine, fuck crypto. I can only imagine stepping into everything that your life's been the last year and the amount of time that you have been. I've been doing this whole social media content thing at a high level for like 15 years. I'm officially fucking like Unk. And
I don't know about all that.
I still don't, have it.
I don't know about all that.
Figured out. Someone like you, and my shit was gradual. I gradually got to where I am today, and you were like fucking parabolic.
I want to start by saying thank you to all my true fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff and they keep up with me. We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to like get all this figured out and make everything.
You guys think her career is done, by the way? I don't know if her career.
Right. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. Everything's gonna be good. We're gonna be good. And guys, listen, just as a temperature check, I just want to say,
let her cry.
The first thing that she said to me off camera was, the minute you DM'd me, I really wish I just texted you and called you. And that speaks to me because of how I was introduced to crypto, and we'll get into that. But I'm also kind of on the back end of things too. Like their team's been very forthcoming. My team is vetting them the fuck out right now and has been for the last week. Thread Guy and Frank, they're going to be on this episode. It's such a weird blend and mash of worlds. No, don't.
It rolled out.
Don't cry, Hailey. It's fine.
Let her cry.
It's all going to be okay. Life is going to be okay. Oh, Hailey, no.
Oh, don't do that. No, don't stare at me.
No.
She's just trying to cry.
You're adorable.
Just give us a minute.
Okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, so basically how this idea got brought to me, it was supposed to be like a...
Crocodile tears.
What they call it, a long-term coin. And the guy that ran the account, he was like, we're going to change like the way everybody thinks of crypto. Crypto is going to be a good place. And I feel really bad for all the people that got affected by it. And it just didn't go the way I planned. And all the money out of this episode is getting donated to all the animals that have been affected by the fires up here.
And I'll match it. Me, Ricky, I'll match it, whatever. It's really, really important for me to make sure that we address everything and get through all of exactly what happened. I think that it's really, really important at this point to be totally transparent about everything that happened with you and your partners and this launch and in crypto and what makes this bad and what makes what Iggy Azalea is doing maybe even good and what makes Trump's doing different, right? I want to get through all that. So I brought 2 guys that I live with and do this crypto shit at a very high level. I brought Thread Guy, he's the biggest streamer in crypto, and I brought Frank D. Gods, who launched a very successful project last cycle, and he trades at a very high level. He's one of the best trencher trader guys. These guys are really, really sharp, and they know this market inside and out, and most importantly, they have front-facing brands, and their faces are everywhere, and we're all docs, and we all have to move militant, and we're all super, super passionate about
Yeah,
but let's just be transparent and make it right.
Okay.
Hailey, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Cool. Let's bring in the
Can I have
nerds.
my tissue? Go. All right, you guys. I only got one sponsor.
No free sponsors, bruh.
Helen's got my $1,000 off there is.
Hailey, thanks for having
All right, Mrs. Hailey. This is Thread Guy, the guy I was telling you about, the streamer guy.
Thread.
me. Hi,
Thread
Hailey.
guy,
Thanks for
don't
having
know
us.
who that
Well, of
is.
course. Thank
And
you
then
for
this
coming.
is Frank Degots.
Hey, Hailey.
Frank Degonts.
That's it, yeah. In the merch, too. Yeah, I got the merch on.
I love it.
To shout out.
I don't know what it is.
These are 2 of 10 of my little crypto nerds, I call them. And these guys do this at the highest level, and they're gonna help us through this conversation. And you have with us, he's off camera, but do you want to introduce?
I have my lawyer here too.
Of
What's
course
your
he
name?
does.
Christian Barker. Okay,
Of course
cool.
she has her
How did this
lawyer.
all happen?
So
Explain.
this idea got brought to me like months ago, and I was kind of, I don't want to do that. I don't know anything
And
about
Laura's
it.
like this. Hey.
And I've never heard the space is a good place to be. So I was like, I don't know about it. Which we trusted the guy that come to us. He was a friend of, I don't know, a friend of a friend, I guess you can put him. That was my biggest mistake.
Yeah,
I probably should have looked into him.
we heard a little bit
more.
about him. Apparently, he had like a pretty strong network in LA and kind of used that as leverage to, give himself a vouch. And I think the guy probably more or less overstated his qualifications in executing something like this. Fair to say?
Yes.
Which is usually the case.
Yeah, that's 99% of the time. What happened after that?
Well, really, everything went good, and then I noticed, like, the day of the launch, he was, like, a little weird about it, like, he was pacing around on the porch, and I don't know, it just makes you suspicious, and then we finished a podcast that day, and then I ended up going in that room over there to get on that live, where I was, like, scripted to say this, that, and the other,
Damn.
but put it in my own words, so I done that, and then that's when you got
She
on,
got
and you
scripted.
were asking him questions, and he couldn't answer them. So I was like, okay, something's wrong. He can't answer a simple question. And then CoffeeZilla got on there. That scary guy.
oh, yeah, I
let me
remember
tell you,
that.
don't ever want to have a conversation with him.
We're
She'll put you on blast.
a little more
Put you on
charitable than
blast.
coffee. I think coffee kind of has a little bit of disdain for crypto in general. Us, on the other hand, we live and breathe it every day. We want to see crypto succeed. We do it every single day. But coffee definitely, like, you know what I mean? He's definitely asking the right questions. It's the way that he asks them, maybe.
Yeah.
Is why you guys can't really like
Yeah.
find a spot to like talk or have like any sort of conversation with each other. But we actually did talk to him. We had a conversation with him, and he gave us some broad questions to share and ask you. They're good questions.
Oh, that scares me if they come from him.
No, don't
Of course.
worry about it.
Because
Don't
he asked a good question. He asked a real question.
be scared.
He's such a scary guy.
Coffee is a little scary, but it's okay.
He means well,
whole,
though.
This whole thing
Yeah.
is a little scary. Yeah, at the end of the day,
He does mean
he
well.
wants to he just wants to see people move the right way. And
Yeah,
again,
do the
that's
right thing.
the difference between you, Iggy, Trump is they just simply did it the right way. There's a whole set of standards and rules that this market follows, and an etiquette that people, respect. And it's just, that's what it is, right?
Well, see, that's how it got brought to me. It was supposed to be done the right way. Like, it was going to be good. Like,
They
half the
rug
money, it
pulled
was supposed
it,
to go,
though.
like, into my charity.
They rug pulled it.
That's really why I agreed to do it. Just for the simple fact, putting money into that.
Yeah, okay.
It was a way-
I don't believe her, bro. Like, it's hard to believe her when she was gone for so long.
To, like, get all my community
she's just
gathered up
saying this
together.
because her
It was
lawyer's
just-
telling her
I
to
don't know.
say this.
It was brought to me in, like, a positive way. Like, it was
She's
going to be
not
something
stupid.
good and long-term,
This is all
but it
PR.
didn't go that route at all.
PR.
So it was
Again,
like a
100%.
smack in the face.
100% of the time, the pitch
Just
is always
try
going
to
to be
fix your
positive.
image.
It's we're the right guys.
She
We're
just
the
to try to fix her.
ones, et cetera, et
She's
cetera.
getting killed on
Again, that's what
social media.
I think that's why we're here.
They're killing
Thread,
her on social
Frank,
media.
maybe introduce yourselves and give,
That's
you know,
why she's
give
doing
your-
this.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, Frank. Been in crypto for like 4 years.
I don't care about you guys, bro. Not to be rude, but like,
There it's
oh, let's see what her attorney said.
and percentations. Did Spires 120.
Part of the tokens. Like, how did that work? This is what I think the internet always wants to know is, like, do they
Yeah.
offer you money up front, part of the tokens? Like, how did that work? Like,
So the deal,
Here's the lawyer talking.
I can
Yeah.
speak to that. So the deal that she did was like a brand image likeness deal where they paid her $125,000 up front. They were supposed to pay her $200,000 after the launch of the coin within 30 days. She was supposed to have full transparency to tokenomics and everything going on, which they did stay in communication about it, but it just was an ever-evolving game plan, essentially. So back-end participation was to always be mutually agreed, and what they had agreed on in the tokenomics was there was a 10% allocation of the token that would be on a 1-year lock, and then a 3-year drip after that.
What?
Of that 10%, half of that was supposed to go to the company
That just sounds like a scam. So basically, they're paying her to be on the coin, supposedly. Once the coin launches, obviously everybody's gonna buy, so obviously the coin's gonna go up. Which after the coin launches, they pay her the 200K because they already made their money back. After that, let the attorney speak.
token that would be on a 1-year lock, and then a 3-year drip after that. Of that 10%,
Watch.
there was a weekend solving, which they did was supposed to have full transparency to tokenomics and everything going on, which they did stay in communication about it, but it just was an
So basically, they just used her face for it.
evolving game plan.
But she
essentially.
still was part of
So,
it because she agreed
back
to do
end
it.
participation was to always be mutually agreed, and what they had agreed on in the tokenomics was there was a 10% allocation of the token that would be on a 1-year lock, and then a
So basically, the 10% would always stay inside the token.
3-year
never take
drip
out.
after that. Of that 10%, half of that was supposed to go to the company that created the project, and half was to go to her.
See?
So
You see what I'm saying?
out of 100% of the token, she would have had 5% at the end. Obviously, she has lawyer, manager, business manager, so even that 5% would have been cut down by over a quarter due to people that she has to pay out on her non-entertainment, or sorry, non-crypto.
I don't agree with that though. I don't agree. I don't think so. I think that's not true.
So
I don't
all
know
the
if it's true.
all the structure you just described, what happened to all that?
It's not like it has dissolved. That
For real, what happened to all that other part of all the part of the money that was in?
on launch, 3% of the token was made available for public trading.
3%. So 3% of the coin was available for launch. 5% the company had within, that was gonna stay within that crypto. Where was the other? Where was the other tokens at? You feel me? So basically, the company owned most of the tokens. They gave the public a little bit of the tokens. Once the public bought into the tokens, goes up a little bit, the company fucking sells out their tokens, and it gets fucking dropped because most of the company was owned by them. Crazy.
A lot
That's
of this
crazy
information
scam.
we found out since the launch. We, as in Hailey's internal non-crypto team, but 17%
It doesn't
was
take a genius to realize that.
we, as in Hailey's internal
This is a
trading.
scam.
A lot of this information we found out since the launch. We, as in Hailey's internal non-crypto team, but 17% was given to pre-sale investors.
You see what I'm... Okay, now they're saying 17% was given to pre-sale investors. And okay, then who were those pre-seller investors? Who were those investors?
2/3 of which approximately sold the day of
Yep.
launch. So there is 20% in circulation.
And just
No,
to be
there's
clear
not.
about where you kind of jumped into this, you were telling us in the back room that
No.
this kind of all was happening even without you really knowing or having view on any of it until post. You're handling the cleanup and trying to protect Hailey and trying to do
Where's the
right
other,
by
like,
Hailey now, but you didn't have
45%.
the opportunity to
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
I negotiated the contract with the company. We have like accounting transparency rules and requirements that I added to the contract. SEC compliance requirements I added into the contract that they would have to do as project manager. And so we continued to inquire all along the process about the tokenomics. It was kind of a shifting narrative and explanation of tokenomics. The most recent tokenomics that were given to us prior to the launch had the pre-sale investors being on a 1-month lock.
Dude, that's crazy. The pre-sale investors. That's a scam.
With a 1-year drip after that, that's pretty obvious.
How
on
can you
chain
have
that
pre-sale
happened.
investors already?
But 80% of the supply is
When they're
still
only giving
in
3% to the public.
control. The dev still controls 80%,
and who are they?
The devs control 80%.
control The dev still controls 80%,
And who are they?
You see?
I do not know who the dev is. That was never disclosed to us. All I know is it's a gentleman that's.
So see, the problem with the developing side of like projects like these and products like these
For
is
real.
they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? Like they can
They
change
can
this
basically make
structure that
themselves,
sounds really pretty and nice and fair and honest. They can change it at will, right?
Especially when they control the coins, they control the keys. Yeah.
So
Yeah, they can
80% of
make
the fucking
themselves the
supply,
whole-
and then they control all the code and stuff.
Yeah,
all
they
these
can-
locks that sound
Yeah.
great again and fair, and like it's gonna keep her safe. They can just be
That's
turned off
crazy.
right before the thing goes, and that's sounds
And the
like
fact
more
that she agreed to that, that's crazy. She
or
agreed to
less
that.
is
She
what
is
happened. What
stupid.
would you say?
I think with memes, people in the internet like to feel like a ownership of it, and like the community
They're
wants to feel like
connected
it's
to- yeah, they
organic.
want to feel like they're connected to that meme.
And so by having like a pre-sale, it makes it posting the wallet address beforehand. Then
Yeah.
You see, you see everything that I just said. This crypto nerd, and I don't know nothing about crypto. Is saying the exact same thing. I'm saying he said the pre-sale, just the wallet, the amount of wallet that the developers had. He's just like, man, like it just looks all wrong.
pre-sale, it makes it posting the wallet address beforehand. Then
Yeah.
you just know snipers are gonna like basically get, which I think a sniper made $1 million right when it went live.
You see,
These were kind of just like really bad practices.
you see. Hey, I'm not even a crypto nerd. It's just like, bro, you don't need to be that stupid. Like, come on, bro.
For
crazy.
like an organic meme coin. And so yeah, I mean that's honestly like it's
No, those two things specifically. What was the pre-sale structure exactly?
I'm not certain to the structure of the pre-sale. There was a 17% allocation. Most of the pre-sale investors, my understanding is, were based in
That's crazy.
Asia.
Okay.
And there was, again, supposed to be a 1-month lock with a 1-year drip after that.
And how much was raised for that 17%?
2.8 million.
I think that's why people are really upset for the most part. Hailey.
17%.
2.8.
Damn. 17% of that they made was 2.8 million. Damn. Only 17%. Imagine how much the developers made. They made money. They made money. The developer owned 80%. This dude that owned 17%, and overall the person that owned the 17%, they made a 2.8 million. Dude, that's ridiculous.
Million.
I think that's why people are really
You see?
upset
You see, they're like, fuck.
for the most part. Hailey is that
Puts it at like 14, 15.
yeah, it's like basically when you have a coin where people have a bunch of pre-sale, it means like a bunch of people got this early access
Yeah,
to it.
early access to it. That's not fair to the public. That's alright, because once the public goes and gets it, it's obviously gonna go more higher. So obviously the dude just gotta do I'm dump that shit.
That
So all
normal
the-
people don't have
that
access
that normal
to.
people don't have access to. And so I think it's less the problem that there's a coin and more just the way that it was
pre-sale,
done
the whole thing, the way it was set up.
was really
And just to articulate to you too,
Yeah.
that is probably never the way to go. It's just not good for the health of the token. But if ever, you should know exactly who holds this token.
Correct.
Like always, like to have that be like a question mark, and like guys in Asia, it's like they're the ones who can
Yeah, you don't even know who, like,
this token.
It's like,
they,
who are these guys?
they at any moment upon launch, this thing could rip to fucking $100 million, and then they could all just fucking suck all the
crazy.
liquidity out and send it to zero, and then you're again the face of it, you're the name of it, and then you're left in this situation that you've been in.
So when there's a pre-sale, nobody in the United States can buy that, right? Is that how that works?
what? She really don't know how that works.
I'm not necessarily sure.
Her face,
How does that
his face
work?
is curious.
honestly don't
I
know.
look at it.
It's all kind of great.
Sounds about
Donald
right,
Trump just
yeah.
dropped a fucking meme coin, so
Yeah.
I don't really. I think we're kind of all in
Yeah.
a situation where we're figuring that stuff
Yeah.
out. I think as a society in real time. It's all. It's
But
all
the
really
pre-sale
gray area.
wasn't made public, right? Like, and so
Yeah,
that is
that's
less
also a
about the
huge
fact
problem.
that there was a pre-sale and more the fact that it was hidden. And I think the biggest thing with like why people were so frustrated is less due to how the price turned out and more because it was very publicly set up like wrong to the people that are really in crypto that do it every day. You could see on like A, B, and C. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong.
And that's why, Hailey, the most important thing, far and away, for people like you and I in a market like crypto is transparency. It means everything. It's like it has to start and stop there, because then at that point, at least something goes wrong. You know what I mean? This is what I knew. This is what happened. And that's why conversations like these are really, really important. I think, again, I said this before, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this. I think generally, like crypto Twitter, people who do this at a high level, who do this every day, more or less know what happened, because they can go like Frank, again, we're in that back room. He's looking on chain. He sees it. It tells the whole story. That's the beautiful thing about crypto.
Yeah, I found that out later too.
Yeah. So they more or less can see what happened. And then obviously we've seen this story a million fucking times, right? So we more or less know what happens. The issue for you is the millions and millions of people who farmed views off this and made stories about this and covered it. Your average fan, the average fucking middle America 16-year-old kid who's a fan of you, just sees crypto scam, which is, again, another huge part of the conversation that I'm passionate about, where it's just like crypto already has this bad rap, and it's because of things like this, and it's because the onboarding process is flawed, the barrier to entry is flawed. You probably don't even understand half of what's being talked about right now. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's a real language barrier. And the point is, like, if you have no business in crypto, you probably shouldn't be in crypto. The only thing, your
Agreed.
introduction to crypto,
Especially if you don't know anything, why make a meme coin?
should have been somebody, a finance guy, telling you it's probably a good idea for you to DCA 20% of your money indefinitely into Bitcoin because it's just a good investment. And then maybe you know what I mean?
What does DCA mean?
It means
dollar cost average. Yeah.
Yeah, it means just like slowly buying or slowly selling. So it's actually
buy like $10 of Bitcoin a day type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best way that I think that you can acquire an asset like Bitcoin, because it's so volatile. It's 100,000 one day, and then it's 70,000, then it's 120. Right? It's never hit 120, but if you buy it at a consistent basis, you get the average cost of Bitcoin over the span of whatever. But it's like it's things like that. Obviously, if you're that passionate about your team sees an opportunity, that's okay. I mean, we see opportunities every day in crypto, and that's what anybody that's telling you they're not in crypto to make money is fucking lying to you, right? To a degree, some more than others, and some are more likely to fucking not stand on business and fucking do sketchy weird shit, and some are more passionate about the future of the space like us. But if you're gonna do that, if you're someone like Hailey Welch and you're gonna do that, you need to like be as careful as you can be, and you need to make sure that the people that you're doing this with are like people you can really, really trust and qualified to do it.
Wiz Khalifa told me not to ever put your name on something you don't fully understand.
So
Well, you already failed.
really awesome piece of advice.
It's great
Why
advice.
would you ever do that?
That was on this show. There's like a clip of that.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, I mean that's a
real clip.
That's a great piece of advice.
What's the best piece of advice you'd give to Hailey?
Just like make sure that you like clear everything that's like being done in your name. Like make sure you like it. Like don't let it get crazy. Don't let it get out of fucking whack to the point where it's like, yo, I wouldn't even fucking done that shit.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It sucks that you're having to learn this the hard way, right? But
I feel like I needed to though.
that's
It kind of
great.
opened my eyes a lot.
That's great. Yeah, I mean that's honestly
I
how
feel
I
like
was
your
introduced to
career
crypto
is
to
done.
begin. I can't talk too much about it or
deleted this
name
within an
names,
instant.
whatever.
I
But I
can't
was
either.
introduced to crypto through something very, very similar. A deal came through the Faze pipeline, my company that's existed for over.
Faze has been through some scams too. Don't get it twisted. Come on, man. You gonna tell me Faze hasn't had their share of scams? Come on. Let's be real now. Mike, let's be real, everybody that loves Faze. Let's not forget. Let's not forget that they've had their share of scams. You wanna see? If you think I'm just trying to hate, here we go. There you go. There you go. Remember this? Save the kids. And do you remember? Well, they're not even in Faze no more, though. But, you still get what I'm trying to say. Remember this? Their Faze stock. Here we go.
decade. We were public at one point. Came through the sales team, and a talent manager brought me this deal that, for me, by every measure of my expertise and my perspective on my whole career and how it came up, this was a fucking great deal. This product came to me and said, we want you to be a spokesperson for our product. It's X, Y, and Z. It's in crypto, this cool new technology, and they like you. They like your name. They want you to do basically more or less an ad read every 2 weeks, and they'll pay you $100,000 a year salary.
simple.
I'm like, what? Bet. That's a great deal. And also they'll give you whatever it was. I'm making this figure up, but $50,000 in tokens, whatever. I didn't know what that meant. In one ear, out the other. Could give a fuck less about that. $100K.
He's looking at him like, I think he's saying a little too much. Come on, bro.
Year?
He's
Bet.
lying.
That's awesome.
That's probably why he
And then
disappeared,
upon announcing this and upon me talking about it, they used
too. Let's not forget, bro disappeared. I'm trying to hate, but I don't respect.
I want you guys to
anything
understand.
either. Oh, he still hasn't posted.
that moment as exit liquidity. They used my face as exit liquidity. At that point, I got flooded with comments. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? Probably similar, definitely not as severe as your experience and whatever happened. And this was during a different time. This is 2020. I mean, your whole fucking timeline in 2020 was Kim Kardashian and Jake Paul and Mayweather and everybody, because this market took advantage of the fact that our market had so much influence and we had so many eyeballs and such a big audience, but we knew nothing about it, right? So very easy to manipulate us, take advantage of us, use us as exit liquidity, et cetera, et cetera. I used that opportunity. I got investigated by the SEC for fucking like 2 years over this. It cost me way more money than I made. It was one of the most miserable experiences of my life because that moment got me into crypto. So then I started doing things like buying CryptoPunks and buying more Ethereum and Bitcoin, et cetera, and meeting people like this. And I made the conscious decision that I'm never going to allow something like this to happen to me ever again. I didn't meet morals friends. I know that $5 ton of money though.
I saw where you DM me, and it was like in my requests, and you asked if I ran my account.
Yeah.
And what I done, I still confided in the guy that ran my account, and I screenshot it. I was like, can I respond to him? Like, he was in the live.
No, don't.
He was like, no, do not text him
It's the
back.
biggest red flag of everything.
Yikes.
Okay.
Not being allowed to respond to someone is crazy.
Wild. Especially someone like me, somebody who they know.
Well, I mean, you
I'm
were
a good
nice
faith
when you were on the live, so I was
Of
like, well,
course.
there's nothing wrong with him. I was like, he's a nice guy, and he's just asking if I actually run my account, which the answer is no.
I wish you picked up the phone and called me immediately. That's funny.
I've never had
You
Twitter.
guys know too. I'm
downloaded.
sending her fucking paragraphs, bank shit. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to articulate my little bullet points. I'm sending her pages.
It's like a manic essay. Yeah. What the fuck is this?
I think that's all the messages I've had. It's like people from crypto.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I think the
Not
worst
very
part
nice.
about it is like I hate that it was just such a negative entrance for you
It was.
because crypto is like a really cool place. Crypto isn't gonna go away. It's only gonna get bigger,
yeah.
and it might feel like
I don't
based on
know.
But you were talking about,
I
I
think
think
it is
if you took all of the money that you
Not
made from the deal, whatever, and just like bought back the coin and then locked it up, I feel like that's a very like clear action that you can make,
Or celebrity coins, I want
back
say.
to the community. And I think that would just like stamp it and the community can run with it. So that's like the idea that we were talking about.
As far as
yeah.
narrative goes and a gesture, I mean, you just fucking nailed that, by the way. And that would be, you mentioned it earlier, 125,000 plus 100,000, or what did I hear?
Yeah, so
How much total money has been received due to this?
125,000 has
Been received.
been received.
Yeah. Basically, what Frank just said in normal people terms is you take every dollar that you made on this and you mark it by this token and you lock it up. You walk away from it. You don't ever see that money. You can never touch it again. And you say, I'm not going to talk about this every day, whatever, but I'm going to stand on business. I put my face on this. I'm accepting the responsibility that this happened. And hopefully, everybody is made whole at some point where you guys do what you want with this at this point. This is me kind of like, you know what I mean? And what that does is it kind of shows your intentions, right? Like I just want to do right by this and
I
everybody
get
who
what they're saying.
participated in this, etc.
I know you probably feel weird because like I'm sure people said some nasty things to you, and you're like, "What is this? Who are these people? What is this space?" Like,
Well, Hailey, I'm not going to sugarcoat it too. Listen, I know I'm sucking my own dick right now, but I think as far as like people
Who is
who
sucking
come
his own dick.
from our industry, I think I move close to the best. I get comments pretty much.
I'm not trying to be rude, but come on, bro. Quit sucking your own dick. Dead ass.
What's on the market is
It happened.
The one, I don't know. It's that was really good.
Yeah, because it happened. Yeah.
Her buying in right now with what's on the market is there's 80%.
Yes.
That's not available.
What does that mean?
So obviously we don't want to run
She
into this.
knows what that means.
React in a positive way because it is a great narrative and it is a really genuine gesture.
All right.
I don't want to fucking guarantee anything, but the token probably fucking rips to that point. It could even get to a point where it rips past all-time high, which for you, I think if the token ever exceeds the highest point it was ever at, I think that's a really comfy spot for you to finally be like, I did what I needed to do and I did right by this product launch in crypto. That's personally me. That's how I would receive it. But that being said, we don't want to be in a position where this fucking token is ripping and these same people who fucked you over that own 80% of it are getting rich in the process, right? Like that cannot happen.
I don't know, bro.
Have the 80% agree to lock it too. And if I don't know if there's interest, I don't know.
You gotta wait
But
until that 80%
I think probably
comes
you
back.
guys who we do still have open lines of communication with who fucking built this thing. I think you aggressively go in contact and communicate the fact that, listen, we as a team have decided that this is probably the best route to go for Hailey because at the end of the day, your name, your likeness, your brand, your 50s.
It's all over it.
You're so sweet. Let's fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I
fucking
don't know if she's sweet, but
yeah,
she's just acting
that
like bro.
that we need to guys right. They need to listen to everything we're
Or
about to
she's
tell you
gonna
to
act
do.
all like innocent, trying to act all sad, bro. Like she's getting killed on social media.
And you know what I mean? Maybe we don't go fucking as hard legally on it. Yeah, that
The pump and
80%.
dump.
That's obviously the biggest hurdle.
So who has that? The 80%.
The dev.
What is
I think
dev?
it's called the 80%.
The developer.
Based out of where?
Dumbass.
Based out of San Francisco. It's one guy based in San Francisco, is my knowledge.
Well, that's
I
not
don't
that's
know-
better than China.
I don't know who
Oh.
we know the name as to who that is, but the dev is hired by
Dead ass. That dude's laughing because
the
he knows it's
company
lying.
that
She's
she
lying.
did her diligence.
Just as far as, by the way, just as far as access goes, San Francisco's up the street.
Okay.
The language barrier,
Cut,
China. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Understood. Yeah, I think that's the next steps, honestly. Yeah. Because the thing is, like, it happened, and it's like on chain, like things always gonna exist. Trump launched a coin. Like, again, I come back to, I just don't think that there's an issue with a meme coin in the world. Like, that's not the problem. It's the pre-sale. It's the fact that the pre-sales got unlocked on day one. It's the fact that he put the wallet address out, so it got sniped. It was just like a pretty poorly executed.
What would have been
launch.
the best way she could have executed? Just for everybody
No
watching it,
pre-sale at all. That's
See?
how she could have done it. No pre-sale.
a future
all.
like because I feel like this will be
And
cited.
they only
in-
get 10%. 5% goes to the developer, 5% goes to her. Like that.
The way to do it would have been not to do it.
I agree. I was just about to say that.
That would be
I
like
was
the
gonna say,
number
don't
one
touch
best
it.
way to do it. And the second best way would be if someone else made it and they sent you, some percent of supply, and then like you're like, all right, you guys can do it and whatever.
and like the founder of Pump Fund recently. His name's Alon, and their product. You want to talk about what their product does? Just
Well,
real
yeah,
quick.
there's this thing called Pump Fund where it makes it really easy for anybody to launch a coin. And so people anonymously all over the internet are just like launching coins.
Some people think it's the worst thing ever for crypto. Some people love it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It exists. But my point in bringing that up was the founder of it didn't drop a coin, but somebody else dropped a coin of his name, and he kind of endorsed it.
Yeah.
He soft endorsed it. The moment he did that, that became his
His
token.
coin.
No, he didn't know the team. He didn't know anything. It was just like, okay, this is the one, and then the market decides what to do from there, right? That probably would have
best way to put it is the way that this was structured from everything I've heard so far is like you're trying to make a business almost out of a fucking meme coin. And this is where I think the internet just like hates, right?
Yeah.
In reality, it's like a meme coin that should honestly belong to the internet and the community and whoever's like speculating and trading on it. But it was made into this like venture. And with that venture, now there's all these mouths to feed, all these guys with pre-sale.
Everyone has a hand in it.
So
Everyone has
complicated.
But so
people are expecting things from you, expecting you to execute on things, like expecting a product.
deliverables. All
Yeah.
these people to feed.
That's
yeah.
why Trump's engaged the way that he has in his token. He hasn't really talked much about it. He's probably not going to talk a ton about it. It's out there. It's for the market.
please,
It's for the,
one tweet.
it's for the market. It's for the market to decide. And yeah, the more he talks about it, the more complicated it's going to be. And the more he engages with it and participates in it, the more complicated it's going to be.
Hindsight's obviously 2020, but for future use, the best way to come into a new space, and specifically crypto, is to not want to make money from it and launch a coin.
For sure. To invest money into it. That's
best way would have been like, all right, this crypto thing seems cool. I'm gonna fuck around and throw a little bit of money at Bitcoin and just like maybe go to the conference. Bitcoin.
You're familiar with
Nashville.
Aiden Ross, yeah? You're familiar with Aiden Ross, the
She's
streamer?
about to fall asleep.
Sure.
That's so fun.
That's
That's
wild.
awesome. That's awesome.
Sure.
That's awesome. So he's one of the biggest he's one of the biggest streamers on earth. We lived
No,
together
he's
for
not.
2 years, and I saw his
Fuck
come
Aiden
up,
Ross.
and I saw him explode on the scene, and we have very intimate like.
Go suck at his dick.
What it does is you start to extend your network. You start to build a network of people who you can learn from, and that's the biggest thing. Is
And
entering
you
a space
pick
like
up
this.
pieces along the way.
Yeah, entering a space like this, I'm still fucking retardio when it comes to like this whole crypto thing, but
Me too.
and I've been doing this for 5 years. You know what I mean? I have these guys. I live with these guys. I'm fortunate enough for that. But that being said, I've been in here for 5 years.
It does make me feel better, like hearing y'all talk, but like y'all know everything. Like I feel like y'all do everything the right way. But I don't want to
Not
dive
everything.
too much in that because I thought my guy was doing everything the right way.
Again, not everything. Again,
Valid.
like I said, my entry to crypto was similar. You know what I mean? It was
You had to learn from it, though.
for sure, and those are the
Crazy.
And you got a good team with you too. I had a dumbass working for me.
for sure.
What do
Oh,
you guys
bless
think
him.
she should do next?
Again, that best case scenario, dream scenario, Frank's suggestion, unironically, is fucking 10 out of 10 perfect, I think, in my opinion.
I think the reason
So-
he suggested to take the money that you earned and to put it back in the token, one, it probably feels like blood money. I'm not even sure you
It's
want the money.
dirty.
You don't want
It's
that money.
very
That money is
dirty.
gross. Two, it's sort of like you could kind of say anything. Like we could say
You
whatever on
spent it already though.
podcasts, and apologies are helpful, and it goes some distance. But to actually put the money back in and be like, I didn't make any money from this, and for the people that are down, like this is the best thing I could do to help you, and sort of wipe my hands clean and say that you tried, is definitely number two, the best thing you could do. And I think the third is like, it probably feels really weird and uncomfortable right now, even to be talking. We're these weird guys. We just walked in. We're talking about crypto. We're saying
Yeah.
big words. But like your life, especially being this famous person on the internet, will intersect with like the money of the internet, crypto, again at a later point, and you don't want to have this like looming
Dirty ass money.
elephant in the room, like uncomfortable situation, or maybe
Well, go and like, subscribe. Grind 100K, drain 1 mil. If you guys want to finish this, you guys know where to go. Whoop.
Bye. Have a great time.